Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's Talk Leeds. Hope you're all doing well on this lovely, rainy July day. Awful, absolute shocking weather. Anyway, just wanted to have a little chat about the vibes that I'm getting from our fan base at the moment. And this may sound a little hypocritical of me because I've been one of those people, but I've had a little think over the last sort of 24 hours, and after speaking to a couple of people last night and stuff, and I just sat back a bit and I thought, actually, things ain't that bad. Like when something bad happens, like yesterday, and we heard that Vober's leaving on loan and stuff, it's easy to start seeing everything in a negative manner. But when you actually take a step back and look at it, everything's happened what's meant to be happening. So for those of you that probably have seen Parag Marate's interview the other day, he said people are going to leave, and we're not going to like it. People are going to be walking out the exit door, and we're not going to like it, right? I mean, that's happened. Daniel Farke's first interview as Leeds manager, he said the loan situation is far from ideal, and we need to ensure that this never happens again. So he expected it to happen. It's part of the plan, even though it's not nice. It's part of the plan, and we're probably going to see other people leaving who we don't want to leave, or who we think could do well in the Championship, because that's what the 49ers and Daniel Farke have walked into. As I said yesterday, that they've walked into a building that's been obliterated by a tornado, and they've got to pick up the pieces as best as they can. People get frustrated when Radrazani and stuff was too open and too honest and said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And people are now equally frustrated that the 49ers work in silence. Obviously not everyone, but some people. Well, what do you want? Personally, I'm quite happy for them to be like that. Obviously, it makes it hard when you're trying to create content, but Ampadu, we heard nothing about. Boom, we got him, and look how good he looked the other day. Calm, assured. It looked like he has played for us for 3-4 years. Ordering the back line about and shouting orders at Meslier, and he just looked brilliant. He looked so comfortable, and he looked like he'd been here for a long time. And so we just got in through the door like that, right? We didn't hear a snippet. So for all we know, there could be another 3 Ampadu's round the corner this week. Bish bash bosh, done, signed, sealed, delivered. So even though it's easy to get tetchy about things, and I'm one of the worst for it, honestly. I'm so pessimistic. Sometimes you just have to take a sit back and just relax and just think it's all going to be okay. It's still July. We can't judge a whole transfer window on July alone. Like, judge it in September. Whatever your opinions are, just keep them in check until September. And obviously, football's subjective. Obviously, I'm just saying, we can all judge a transfer window when it's closed, when it's done. Yeah. Because I'm one of the worst. As soon as Faber went yesterday, I was like, oh, this is an absolute shit show, and it's a shambles, and rah-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. And then I think it was Jer last night on the Just Joe show said, let's judge it at the end of August when it's shut. And I was like, well, yeah, it's a good point. It's not finished yet. It's not done. The race is not ran yet. So I think August is going to be a very unsettling and unstable month. I think you might see us hopefully grinding out some results. The good thing for us is we got a decent start. Cardiff at home, Birmingham away, West Brom at home, Ipswich away, and in between that we've got Shrewsbury at home. So even with the team we've got now, without any new signings, I think we'll do all right. I think we'll pick up a couple of wins. And remember, the season isn't won or lost in August. Teams traditionally can be 18th at Christmas and then finish 3rd. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping that doesn't happen to us. But what I'm saying is the Championship isn't won or lost in August. So if we can just get through August, you look at our team now, we'd have Dramel Ayling right back, Cresswell, Strelk or Cooper centre back, Leo Helder left back, or Byron maybe left back. Not the best, not the worst, is it? I'm sure it will be all right. Ampadu, JB, Bate, Gelhart, who knows what's going to happen with Sinisterra, Nonto. and Harrison, but I'm assuming we'll probably have one of them, maybe Adam. So we're in a more luxury position than we probably think, because we have still got quality throughout the team, and that's without adding any more additions. I'm sure before we kick off August 6th, in less than 2 weeks now, I'm sure we will have more signings through the door, and the squad will be thickened up a bit. And I've seen a few people turning their nose up at Sam Byram. Well, in a 46-game championship season, you need these players. You need these versatile players who can fill gaps and replace injured people. And he's a free signing, so I'm all about getting Byram on a free transfer on a 1-year deal, and having that, having him to thick up the squad, because you can't just go out and spend £5-6 million for every single player that you sign. You need these little free transfers. You need these little loan signings just to tick you over and get you through, because it's a long, hard, drooling season. And how many injuries we pick up traditionally. I don't know what that's all about. People said it was Bielsa. It's happened for the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But, it's not my job to. But we traditionally always get lots of injuries. So we need a big squad. So Sam Byram, I don't think we should be turning our nose up at people like that. I'm happy. I'll be happy if we sign him. And I'm not just judging that off, the little 20-30 minute cameo he had the other day, although he did look good. Just in general, Farke really likes Byram, and I think it'd be a good signing for us. And, it will free up money for us to spend elsewhere. I still believe we're going to go and sign Perot. I think we'll see that progressing nicely in the next few days, maybe up to a week. Obviously, the other team we wanted in was Atlanta, but they've targeted Almira striker as a replacement for him. So, and he's got a year left on his deal. By the looks of it, he doesn't want to be at Swansea. So I think we can play a bit of hardball with Swansea and maybe get him for 15 mil. And that's what I'm hoping. But that's also what I think is a real possibility. So yeah, it may seem negative and it may seem gloomy, and the weather probably isn't helping, is it? But when you take a deep breath and sit back, things ain't that bad. We've still got a decent team. It will be interesting to see what happens in August. I'm sure we're going to see people leaving last minute. I'm sure people are going to kick off the season and then leave after a couple of games. But it is what it is. As long as in August we can pick up a couple of wins and a draw, nothing's going to be lost in August. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no one can tell you how to feel or how to speak your mind and emotions, and I'm certainly not doing that, because I'm one of the worst for it. As soon as something bad happens, I flip my lid well too easily. But yeah, things are not as bad as they may seem. We're having repercussions of the previous ownership. There's nothing we can do about that now. It's done. The situation is what it is. It's just, even though we know that there's loan deals happening and stuff, and it's in people's contracts, it's when it happens that then you start getting annoyed. It's like, I don't know, you get a parking ticket, and at the time you think, oh, God's sake, and then you deal with it, and then when the letter drops through your door, you go and pay it. That's the horrible bit about it. Things more outgoings are going to happen to more players who we don't want to leave, but it is what it is. Also, may I add, the 5, 6, 7 players who have gone, I'm really not that bothered about. What bothered me is that we didn't get much of a fee for them, and they've gone on loan. But yeah, Christiansen, Rocker, I'm not that bothered. Cock, I couldn't really care that they're gone, and I'm starting to get to the point where I don't really care who goes now. I just want this mess sorted. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting to that point where, however much I like Nonto and Sinistera and Adams and that, it's just like, whatever, man. Like, this is Leeds United. Like, I love Leeds United long before you lot come, and I will long after you go. So, just I just want this situation sorted. But going back to the loan deal, I don't know who's may or may not have seen this article. Shout out to Nigel Walton. I'm not going to read it all because it's pretty long, but he wrote, everyone should read this instead of slagging off the new owners. Understand how financial fair play works, and you'll then understand why the 49ers are using a loan option instead of taking a loss in a transfer fee. The only thing I would say to that is that all these loan deals were put in place by Victor Orta pretty much. So I'm not really sure. Haven't seen too many people slagging off the 49ers because of that. I thought it was more the previous regime. But basically, if you've got time to go and read it, it is a good read. It's only, it's not that long, but it's too long for me to sit here and read out for you. Like, you all get a bit bored. But in a nutshell, it pretty much explains why sometimes it's financially better to loan out some of your assets in the case of relegation rather than selling them on the cheap and making a lot on them. Sometimes it's better to loan them out and recoup your money later on, and hopefully after they've had a decent spell. But yeah, that's a good read. I'm not going to go on too much longer, guys. Just wanted to say, even though things sometimes look a bit gloomy, they're not as bad as they may seem. So stay positive. I'm sure we'll see a couple of new signings in the next few days. And try not to judge the transfer window until it's done and dusted and September arrives, because there's still a long way to go. And I think we're going to be all right. I think we've got a nice set of fixtures in August, and I think we'll get through. So please smash a like, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and get your comments in. I read and reply every single comment, and I always will. And I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I shall see you again